All right, and we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to break down this Saturday slate. We got 8 games going right now. We already have plenty of news out. Still waiting on some confirmation on a couple things, but I don't think anything too major. Dylan Brooks listed as doubtful. Still haven't got confirmation that he was indeed ruled out, so that's something we're certainly going to be waiting on. But other than that, we're feeling pretty good. We already got quite a bit of news. We did get confirmation on. Well, let's go ahead and go game by game here, as we always do. First, I'll say here, but as we're welcoming people in here, just want to make sure. See, we got a few of the usual crowd in here, so thanks for you guys for tuning in again. DePrince, I see you. Patrick, what's going on? Thanks, Larry. What's going on, man? And yeah, so let's go. Pigs Larry says, bro, this music hits hard. I'm glad you're liking it. That's the lock of the night music. Haven't been able to produce those early videos throughout the week just because I've had some crazy stuff going on. But we're going to get those back up and running too. Lock of the night theme music is indeed where it's at. So, all right. So the Miami-Washington game. We are waiting on some Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero news. Tyler Hero did participate in shoot-around, so I'd expect him to be able to go in this one. Should be no issues whatsoever as far as he's concerned. And then as far as Bam Adebayo, obviously, if he's out, that's going to certainly open up some big usage and some minutes for a Dwayne Dedmon, who would become a great value play if, for some reason, that were to come out. I tend to think he's going to be fine. We'll definitely keep our eyes on the news, but I think Dedmon's probably going to be in, would be my hunch right now. And we just got the news as I was speaking. Bam Adebayo is available to play. So that's always good because that's kind of what I was planning on. So there's no curveballs being thrown at us there. Bam Adebayo is expected to be in this one. So there we go. Our first game, we just answered our question. So Dwayne Dedmon values are not going to be there. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, all expected to be in. It's going to be a lot less of a big deal to go to this game. The one thing we're also waiting on was the Daniel Gafford news, and we did get confirmation that he's in as well. So we know Daniel Gafford's in. We know that Bam Adebayo's in. That's not going to open up much usage or much interest to us in this game. We would have had a lot more interest in a Montrezl Harrell. Both these teams looking to be fully healthy. Both teams, I mean, other than the pay-up options, Bradley Beal and Jimmy Butler, I don't think I'm going to have too much interest in, to be honest with you. There's a lot of other spots on the slate that I think we'd rather go to. Daniel Gafford is a guy that I would have interest in. So he'd probably be the one guy, now that he is ruled in, that's really standing out to me from an upside at his respective price tag aspect at 4,500. I do think that he could certainly blow that price tag away. So he's someone that I would be looking to play on the slate tonight. No issues with going to him. And then if we go to the Vegas totals, as far as how fast this game is expected to play, it is a 208 over-under with a 1.5 point spread in favor of Miami. So expected to stay close, kind of everything you're looking for. Not exactly the fastest paced game in the world, though. There's definitely some better games towards the later spots in the night that will definitely be looking to play that are much more fast-paced. So that's the first game on the slate. New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Indiana Pacers is the second game on the slate. As far as the injury news, Devontae Graham has been ruled out in this one. We already got confirmation. By the way, Tyler Hero is available to play. That news just came in as well. So just so you know, everything we just talked about in that Miami game is relevant and accurate. So Tyler Hero is going to be in. Bam Adebayo is going to be in. Pretty much everything that we were expecting to go. They should be good to go, so nothing too crazy there. Devontae Graham's going to continue to be out. That's going to open up some more minutes for a Thomas Satoransky. That's also going to open up some more usage for guys like Brandon Ingram, guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, guys like Josh Hart. Josh Hart's been playing very well lately. He continues to be underpriced across the industry. He's very cheap on DraftKings here at only $5,100. On FanDuel, he's pretty cheap as well because I believe he's only like $5,400 over here. So Josh Hart is certainly going to be a valid play on this slate tonight. And with Devontae Graham being out, that's just going to make him an even better play. So he's someone that I'll certainly be looking to get some exposure to on this slate and someone that I definitely like. And then, like I said, these other guys, Nickeil Alexander-Walker could be a good tournament option for you. Brandon Ingram should get more usage. But I do think that Josh Hart is definitely my favorite of the bunch. With there being no Devontae Graham, it's just going to solidify him even more. And if you're new to NBA DFS, you might not know Josh Hart is a very good rebounder as well. So for being a small forward, you can oftentimes go out there and rack up like double-digit rebounds because he's that good. So certainly have interest in Josh Hart. Once again, though, other than that, this game's a game where both sides are pretty healthy. We have other games where there's dealing with injuries. There's guys that are going to get big bumps up in usage. This one we have LeVert, Brogdon, Miles Turner, Domantas Sabonis. Like, they're all in. They're all going to be digging into each other's usage. And for that reason, I'm not getting too excited about this game either. The New Orleans Pelicans taking on Indiana. I am by far the most interested in Josh Hart. And then following him, you could be taking a look to a Kyra Lewis as well, though, where there's no Devontae Graham, especially on DraftKings. On both sites, he's minimum salary. FanDuel's a little bit tougher to get there, but he's only 3K. He's a very good fantasy point producer. Last time out, he put up 33 DraftKings points. He had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 16 points, 3 steals over only 23 minutes of play. So, I mean, this guy's the real deal. If he's able to get you minutes, he's certainly standing out to me. And then you could play Tomas Satoransky as well at a minimum salary. But if you're asking me between the two, honestly, I think I would lean Kyra Lewis pretty easily by a pretty wide margin. He's just a much better fantasy point producer. He can rack up points for you at a much faster rate. And for that reason, if I'm going to one of those really cheap point guards, really cheap guards all the way down to 3K, I do think that Kyra Lewis is where it is at on the slate tonight. So he's another guy you could certainly be looking to. Other than that, like I said, not getting too excited about this game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker does get a bit of a bump up as well, with there being no Devontae Graham. So he'd be the other guy. We already talked about him, but those guys are kind of the ones that I'm locking in on. I do like Josh Hart the most out of this group, though, by far. So certainly going to be getting a bunch of Josh Hart exposure in this one. Next game on the slate is going to be Oklahoma City taking on Boston. We already got confirmation that Robert Williams is going to continue to be out. Or maybe we didn't get confirmation. He's listed as doubtful. So I'd expect him to be out, I guess you could say. I don't think we actually did get confirmation. Same thing as Dylan Brooks, but I'm expecting him to be out. That's going to be a bump up for Al Horford. Al Horford's been very slow in these starts that he's gotten so far on the season. Like, when he gets out there on the court, he starts off pretty slow, and then he's able to kind of get things going, it seems. Like, every single time he's busting a half, and then he just has a good second half, and he's able to get up to, like, 30 DraftKings points. If he's able to actually go ahead and put together a full game, which I think he should be able to, taking on this Oklahoma City squad that does not scare us defensively whatsoever, I certainly do think that I would have interest in Al Horford. You know, as long as there's no Robert Williams, he's going to be the clear and obvious candidate to be getting all those minutes, all the usage, all the rebounding upside at the center position. So I think Al Horford is going to be a good play on this slate tonight. And then, of course, Jason Tatum. As long as Jaylen Brown's out, Jason Tatum's going to continue to get a bunch of usage. We've seen him put up 2 massive games in a row, 57 DraftKings points, 64 DraftKings points, and his price tag actually declined, going from 10.2 now down to 9.9. I know it's not a huge difference in the world, but we'll take any amount of money that we can get. And we'll certainly take the big usage bump for Jason Tatum. Definitely going to like him. The only really concern here would be the blowout. It is a 9.5 point spread in favor of the Boston Celtics, though. It's not enough of a spread to where I'm really all too worried about it. We have another big spread in the Milwaukee Bucks Magic game that we'll get to as we continue along the slate here. But I wouldn't worry about the blowout too much. Jason Tatum's certainly a tremendous play. And then you have the guys in the mid-range of a Dennis Schroeder and a Marcus Smart that are going to continue to see a lot more usage, a lot more fantasy point production as long as Jaylen Brown remains out. And if Robert Williams is out, that's just going to help their case even more. Marcus Smart on DraftKings specifically, priced at a very friendly price tag, so certainly have interest in him. On the Oklahoma City side, it's really easy. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's Josh Giddey, it's Darius Bazley. Like, all of the usage, if this game's going to stay close, is really going to flow through these guys. And then you have Lou Dort as well. So, yeah, those would be the only guys that I'm really looking to in this game. I wouldn't really get too cute anywhere else. Robinson Earl's a guy that I know specifically on DraftKings is underpriced, though, so he's maybe one guy I would consider. He's only 3.4 on FanDuel. They've got him priced way up, so on DraftKings specifically, I do think that he's a pretty interesting option at only 3.4. So he would be the only other guy I'm looking to in this game. But other than that, like I said, Lou Dort would be another one at his respective upside. At his price tag, I do think he has quite a bit of upside, so Lou Dort's another guy I can look to. But other than that, not getting too crazy. All right, guys, if you have any questions as we go along, I'll certainly answer them. I know we kind of do a game-by-game breakdown usually, and then we'll get to the questions after. So if you want to wait till we've kind of gone through all the games, no worries. Looks like we have a couple new comments. Good stuff, KJK. Smash the like button, Colin says. Thank you, Colin. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, if we can get up to 20 likes, that'll be the goal. Right now, we're at 8. I know we have more than 8 people in here, so if you could take a second to leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I will answer them. Banks Larry says, yes, sir, I've won lots of money because of you. Hopefully you're talking about me. I think you were. Or maybe you're talking to Patrick or someone in the chat, but if it's because of me, that's fantastic. I love to hear it. So keep that up. I hope you keep watching the content and keep winning money. Okay, so the Charlotte-Atlanta game is going to be a tremendous game environment. This is going to be one of the highest totals on the slate. It is the highest total on the slate. It's a 226.5 over-under with a 7.5 point spread in favor of the Atlanta Hawks. Going to be fast up-tempo game. Really, the only downside to this game is the fact that both teams are pretty healthy. It's funny because I always say that's like a downside. Obviously, I'm not cheering for injuries, but I'm saying from a fantasy aspect, we want some injuries to open up some more usage and some more minutes in the rotation. We do have DeAndre Hunter being listed as out, and he's going to be out for like 8 weeks on the Atlanta side of things, so that's going to open up more usage and more minutes for a Kevin Huerter, a Danilo Gallinari, a Lou Williams, all these guys. I mean, the main candidates are going to be Kevin Huerter and Cam Reddish. They're really going to be the ones that continue to see a lot more minutes, a lot more usage. Kevin Huerter is only 3.8, Cam Reddish is only 3.2. So those are the two guys that I certainly think are priced very reasonably on DraftKings, if not underpriced. So if you want to go to them, no issues with you playing them whatsoever. Cam Reddish is currently grading out as like my top upside play at his price tag on the slate at only 3.2. So I certainly have a bunch of interest in Cam Reddish. And then you factor in the matchup taking on the Charlotte Hornets team and looking at my defense transition half-court putbacks tool, looking over here on my Patreon premium content, I know that Charlotte's defense really hasn't been all that good on the season. As far as their overall rank in defensive efficiency, they are 17th points per possession rank given up, 21st in half-court points per play rank, 27th in offensive rebound percentage rank as well. So that leads me into the next segment that I will be saying. Charlotte's been really struggling on the glass, giving up a lot of rebounds. Automatically going to make me like Clint Capella and John Collins quite a bit. I mean, you heard me say it. There's 30 teams in the league. They rank 27th as far as offensive rebound percentage rank. So that means they are close to dead last in the league as far as offensive rebounds given up to opposing players. So with Charlotte being that bad on the offensive or their defensive glass, of course I'm going to have interest in Clint Capella. Of course I'm going to have interest in John Collins. I think they both could have big upside games here. And I typically will tell people when there's two bigs not to play them together, because if you play them together, they're kind of limiting your upside. If one guy gets a rebound, the other guy's not getting a rebound, etc. But in this case, with this game being so up-tempo and these two guys being in this good spot, I do think you could play them both together. You can run it back with LaMelo Ball on the other side. LaMelo Ball is priced way up, but for good reason. I mean, this guy's a really good fantasy point stud at 10.4 on DraftKings, though. That's a really expensive price tag. I'd much rather play him over on FanDuel, where you get a much friendlier price tag on LaMelo Ball, all the way down to 8.7. So probably going to be a website thing for me, like on FanDuel at 8.7. I'm going to have a bunch of interest. He could go out there and put up 60 to 70 FanDuel points on any given night. And that's great, I guess, at a 10.4 price tag, but it's not too exciting. However, we do have a bunch of value on this slate, so I will say if you're able to just fit him in and you really like him and you want to put in some of those cheap guys like we just talked about, like a Cam Reddish, we're going to talk about a Jalen Suggs, a Terrence Ross when we get to the Orlando Magic. Sure, you can go ahead and do that, but other than that, I'm not getting too excited about anyone on the side. Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier continue to kind of be second candidates in this offense. Both priced pretty appropriately. But the fast up-tempo game, they could, surpass their expected value as far as their upside and everything on the slate. So no issues with you going there. There's just going to be some more obvious spots as we go along the slate, and the most obvious spot is going to be this one, the Orlando Magic. With there being no Cole Anthony in this game, that's a really big piece of news. Of course, that's going to give more minutes, more usage to Jalen Suggs. Gary Harris and RJ Hampton should also see more minutes, but Jalen Suggs is immediately, one of the best plays on the slate. He's only 3.8 on DraftKings. Over on FanDuel, I think they got him priced at 4.8. I still have interest in him over there as well. This guy's been finally picking up. He was really struggling with the shooting early on. The last few times out, we've seen him shoot the ball very effectively. He's put up 28 and 37 DraftKings points. Continues to be priced very reasonably. Jalen Suggs going to be a tremendous play alongside with Terrence Ross at 3.4. Both these guys should get a lot more usage, a lot more minutes with there being no Cole Anthony. And both of them are priced very cheap on both websites. So those two guys really standing off the page for me from a projection aspect, from a usage aspect, from a minutes aspect, and all that stuff. Surely expected to get a bump up. And for that reason, I definitely have a bunch of interest in them. And it's pretty obvious. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo on the other side is going to be the best play on the slate if this game does not blow out. The Orlando Magic's defense has been absolutely dreadful on the season. Giannis should be able to do anything and everything that he wants to be able to do. Looking at my defensive half-court putbacks tool, taking on Orlando, they rank 28th in the league as far as points per possession rank, 28th in the league as far as offensive rebound percentage rank given up as well, giving up a lot of offensive rebounds, giving up a lot of points, and their transition defense isn't the greatest either. And surprisingly, the Milwaukee Bucks transition defense isn't the greatest either. So I just think that this game could actually possibly stay close. I think a lot of people probably be afraid to play Giannis. And I would recommend playing, multiple of these Orlando guys in your Giannis lineups, because if Giannis is going to go off, they really need to keep this game close. So that would be my strategy there. Play these main candidates on Orlando that are going to get a big bump up in usage. Play Mo Bamba, play Wendell Carter Jr., play Jalen Suggs, play Terrence Ross. And then, if they all go off, the game's going to stay close, and then you're going to have the capability of capturing Giannis's upside, capturing the Orlando Magic upside, all the above. And I think you're going to be really happy with your results in your tournaments. So that would kind of be my approach there. If you want to fade Giannis and play the cheaper guys, Bobby Portis is a tremendous play on this slate tonight. 6-7 on DraftKings, over on FanDuel. I know they've got him priced at $6K. So he's very friendly priced if you want to kind of fade the Giannis play because you're worried that this game turns into a blowout or something along those lines. You could certainly do so and play some Bobby Portis in your lineups. That'd be my approach there. So that's how that Orlando-Milwaukee game. Next game on the slate, Memphis taking on Minnesota. We are waiting on some confirmation that Dillon Brooks is out. We already know that DeAnthony Melton's out. He's listed as doubtful, so I expect him to be out. Should be more usage, more minutes for Tyus Jones, Kyle Anderson, and Desmond Bane. Those three guys specifically, I think, are going to really benefit the most from this. And then, of course, it's going to go all the way to the top and Ja Morant as well, because Ja Morant just has the most amount of usage on the team as is. You take Melton out, you take Dillon Brooks out. That's just going to make his usage and his upside go up even more. So Ja Morant, certainly a good pay-up option in your tournament lineups. And I just don't think that either of these sides are really good defensively. On the Minnesota side, I certainly could have interest in Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, and Karl-Anthony Towns. Those three guys are really the main three candidates. The problem is with all three of them being healthy again, they're kind of cutting into each other's usage, capping each other's upside a little bit. D'Angelo Russell is priced the friendliest of the three, so I wouldn't have an issue with you going to him in your tournament lineups tonight. Patrick asks, is Tatum once again a great play? Yeah, Tatum's a great play, man. Until Jaylen Brown gets back, I mean, Jason Tatum's going to be just an absolute usage monster. So Jason Tatum is certainly a great play tonight. Yeah, so all right, let's continue along here. All right, this Utah-Sacramento game is kind of a unique one because it's expected to stay close. It's a 221.5 over-under. I mean, an 8-point spread isn't exactly expected to stay close, but when you're talking about a team like Utah that's as talented as they am, if it's in the single digits, I'm just going to go ahead and classify that that's expected to stay close. The problem is Utah is very good defensively. Sacramento's rotation goes very deep. They have De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes, Halliburton, Buddy Hield, all of these guys. And they have to take on a very difficult defense. So if this game's going to stay close, I kind of have a feeling the love's going to be spread out pretty thin, which is kind of making me not too excited to play guys on the Sacramento side of things. But on the Utah side of things, I am pretty excited. They've been pretty terrible defensively, have the Sacramento Kings. So I'm really going to be focusing on the two main guys in Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. As long as they're healthy, I do kind of think these other guys are going to kind of take a back seat and just kind of be chilling out there. Like Mike Conley really has not been producing very good for his price tag. Bojan Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson, same thing. Both kind of just fitting into their roles. While we're continuing to see Donovan Mitchell have a ton of usage and a ton of upside. So I certainly think that paying up for Donovan Mitchell would be the best way to go here if this game stays close. I think he has a big ceiling. I certainly like him. He's had a few rough games, 25 or 31 DraftKings points the last couple times out. I wouldn't be too worried about that whatsoever. One of them was a blowout. The other one turned into a blowout more so towards the end of the game. So I think that Donovan Mitchell could certainly get back on a roll here, and he certainly would be my top pay-up option. And that's kind of a quick sum up of that game, but to be honest with you, that's the only options I'm really looking to. Last game on the slate, we have the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Portland Trailblazers. The 76ers continue to be without Ben Simmons, without Joel Embiid, without Danny Green. We did get confirmation that Matisse Thybulle is expected to return, but he's going to be on a minutes limit. So I don't expect him to play that many minutes. So for that reason, still going to have a lot of interest. I'm going to have a lot less interest in the secondary options with him being back, like a Seth Curry, a Shake Milton, a Furkan Korkmaz. I still like these guys. It's just with Tybalt being back in the rotation, he could certainly affect a couple of them. Seth Curry would be the one that I would be least worried about being affected by the news. But, and then, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Andre Drummond are going to be the main candidates you're really looking to play. Tobias Harris and Andre Drummond should continue to see a lot of usage, a lot of fantasy upside, as long as there continues to be no Joel Embiid. I'm going to love Tobias Harris at 8-1 on DraftKings. His price tags come way down, which is going to make me love him quite a bit. And then on FanDuel, he's even cheaper. So Tobias Harris is like one of the best plays on the slate. He's only $7,500 over here on FanDuel. On DraftKings, they've got him priced all the way down now as well, after pricing him all the way up in the upper 8K range to an 8-1 price tag. So it's kind of the perfect storm. The price tag continues to go down. It's a good matchup overall. I'm not too worried about Portland. They should get plenty of usage. We've been a little bit worried about them getting blown out. This game only has a 6.5 point spread. It is expected to stay close. So everything's kind of aligning for Tobias Harris and Andre Drummond to both have fantastic games, both of which are going to be interested and having high interest in. And Andre Drummond's the only one that I would say you could make a counter argument to. He's been playing like limited minutes the last couple times out. There is a possibility this game could go small. Yusuf Nurkic has been playing some pretty limited minutes for the most part. He's only been playing like 20 minutes a game. So if Andre Drummond's minutes are going to be directly correlated with Yusuf Nurkic, I could see him kind of fail in this spot and maybe at some higher ownership. So that might be an approach. Tobias Harris, on the other hand, no matter how this game goes, he's certainly going to be out there, going to get a ton of shots, going to get a bunch of usage. So I love Tobias Harris regardless. And then Tyrese Maxey, I think the same thing at 7-1. He's going to be out there, get a bunch of usage. They're going to need him to keep this game close. If you want to go to him, I don't think he's crazy at all. And then running it back on the Portland side, Damian Lillard is listed as questionable. He is more so probable, though. Expect him to be a full go. Certainly do like him. I like him a lot on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I like him even more, though, because FanDuel just continues to keep him priced very reasonably. I think he's only 8.5. So, yeah, Damian Lillard on FanDuel specifically, certainly going to be a great option. I like him on both websites, but like I said, FanDuel, where you can get that discount if you're playing on both websites, certainly like him over there a little bit more. And then, obviously, with him being back, that's going to impact CJ McCollum, Norman Powell. They're going to take a little bit of a hit in their usage, so not going to like them quite as much. I do think that Norman Powell is priced much more appropriately for his respective upside, though. CJ McCollum can certainly still get you there, but at Norman Powell at only 5-1, I do think that he could be an interesting tournament option for you. So that's a quick little rundown. I'm going to make sure I keep an eye on your guys' comments in the chat. Please ask any questions you have. We'll be hanging out here till 6:30 or so, till I go to upgrade my projections, update my core plays, all that fun stuff for my premium content members. But, yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on the chat, answering any questions you guys have. So let's check out what's going on. We got the Prince asks, thoughts on Tobias tonight? I think you just heard me go over it, the Prince, but I love Tobias. He's way too cheap across the industry. Continue to see a bunch of upside, so Tobias Harris is a tremendous play. The Claw says, yo, just got here. What did I miss? Yeah, the Claw, we just did a breakdown of all the games, man. We're waiting on some injury news, but overall, if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat and I'll get to you. Bam and Hero are playing, Brian says. Yep, it should be good to go. Would you pair Robinson against Horford on DraftKings? Would I pair Robinson against Horford on DraftKings? Let's pull that up. I don't really exactly get Robinson Earl, I guess you're saying. Like, yeah, I have no issues with you going to Robinson Earl. Robinson Earl's only 3.4. He's very affordable. You could certainly surpass that price tag pretty easily. So I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. Yeah, I have no issues with that. Hassan says, good evening, KJK fam. I'm on Lillard tonight. Yeah, I like Lillard quite a bit, man. I don't think that's a bad call whatsoever. I talked about it. I like him a lot on DraftKings. I like him even more on FanDuel, where he's priced even more reasonably. So no issues with the Lillard play. Brian asks, Gobert or Capella? That's really going to depend on the website you're playing on, Brian, but I'll be honest with you, man. I like both. If those are the center options that you're debating on tonight, I think you're thinking along the right lines. I like both those plays a lot. So I don't know how to answer that question. That's going to depend upon your roster construction. But to be honest, I guess one of the best ways I can answer that question for you is to just let you know that those are two of my favorite plays. So I think you're doing a fantastic job of narrowing down your center player pool. Let's see. The news on Robert Williams just came out. Robert Williams is indeed out. So just so you know, that just came through. That's confirmation. That's, of course, going to give Al Horford that bump that we talked about earlier. So Al Horford's going to be a tremendous play. The Prince asked my least favorite game. My least favorite game. That's a good question. Let's go ahead and pull them all up. My least favorite game. Huh. Probably gonna have to be the Washington Miami game. Both sides have like all their players back in. The Washington side was without Spencer Dinwiddie last time out. That gave a big bump up in usage to some of the other guys like Kuzma, Bradley Beal. He's back now. And then on the Miami Heat side, Bam Adebayo's been out, Kyle Lowry's been out, that kind of thing. So that's been giving a bump up to like Jimmy Butler and those guys. So their price tags are up. The game environment is less than ideal, and the teams were unhealthy. Now they're getting healthy. So that'd be my least favorite game. The Claw asks, DK top 3 lock players. What about Valanciunas on FanDuel? Yeah, you could play them for sure. My top 3 locks on DraftKings. I mean, that's kind of a loaded question, but I guess I'll give you 3 plays that I really like on DraftKings. One of them we talked about, Tobias Harris at 8-1. I think is a tremendous play on DraftKings. His price tag continues to fall. His role hasn't changed at all. He's just been involved in some blowouts. He hasn't gotten the full run that he deserves if the game does stay close. So Tobias Harris will be one of my favorite plays. So we'll start it off with him on DraftKings. I like him a lot. Looking further along the slate as far as other people that I'm looking to. Jalen Suggs at 3-8. It would be another guy that I like a lot. So he'd be another guy you could be looking to put in your lineups at 3-8. And then another guy that I really like on DraftKings, honestly, would be Josh Hart. Yeah, so Josh Hart, Jalen Suggs, and Tobias Harris, I think, are 3 great plays for you to start your lineup with. John asks, Maytu, Huerter, or Ross on DraftKings? That's tough, man. I like all those guys, but I would definitely go with either Terrence Ross or Huerter. And I do lean Terrence Ross with just the injury news of all those guys being out and only at 3-4. I just think he's too cheap. So I would go with Terrence Ross. Is doubling up at center contrarian enough? Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that you're playing on DraftKings, Sir Dwayne Moody. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are playing double centers. It really doesn't matter. Just play the best lineup construction. Like, take the value where you can. Tonight, there's not much value at center in comparison to some of these other positions. Like, we have Terrence Ross, Suggs, Huerter, some of the people we're talking about in the chat. Like, all these cheap guys. We have a 3-2 Cam Reddish that you could go to. We have Kyra Lewis Jr. with there being no Devontae Graham being 3K. Like, there's a lot of guard and wing value on this slate. So I think that having 2 pay-up centers in your lineup is not a terrible idea whatsoever. Drummond or Middleton? Horford or Tobias? The Prince asked. I don't know which website you're playing on, the Prince, so that's going to be tough to answer. But honestly, if I have to pick between those two, it would definitely be Tobias. I think Tobias Harris would be my pick there. The Claw asked, Drummond or Middleton? Yeah, Claw, I know you're late. Drummond's a good play if he stays out there. My concern with Drummond is there's a possibility he doesn't. His minutes have been way down the last couple times out. I know one of those games was the blowout, but even then he only played like 29 minutes. He hasn't been playing much more than like barely cracking 30, so he might not play the full allotment of minutes. And then when you factor in his matchup against Yusuf Nurkic is a guy that's been playing like 20 minutes a game. So Drummond might get run off the floor is my only concern here. And then Middleton's a decent option, but I mean, Giannis is back, Drew Holiday's back. I'm not getting too excited to play Chris Middleton, to be honest with you. So I guess my answer would be Drummond to that question if I'm picking between the two, but I don't necessarily like either. Who do you like the most on DK? Reddish, Terrence Ross, or Huerter? Brian asked. I like all 3. If you're asking my favorite, based upon when you got to keep in mind when you ask me these questions, my answer is based upon their price tag, the upside for their price tag. My favorite play would be Cam Reddish. Now, that's Does that mean I would play Cam Reddish over Terrence Ross? Probably not. Cam Reddish is producing 0.85 DK points per minute. That's much better than Terrence Ross, who's only producing at a 0.69 DK point per minute clip. But you have to factor in, that's Terrence Ross with like a fully healthy Magic team. Now we get Terrence Ross with no Cole Anthony. It's a big difference. So I know that's probably not exactly a straightforward answer for you, so sorry to be complex, but that's just the truth of the matter. It's going to depend on the format you're playing in. I don't know if you're playing in tournaments. I don't know if you're playing cash games. My final answer is going to be Terrence Ross for you, so how about that? Who would you pick out of Tatum, Young, Butler, and Beal for DK? I go with Jason Tatum, and it's not even really all that close. Jason Tatum, there's no Jaylen Brown. He gets a big bump up in usage. Those other guys you're talking about aren't going to get the usage bump that Jason Tatum is receiving. There's no Robert Williams. I think that's going to upgrade Jason Tatum's rebounding upside as well. So Jason Tatum would be my answer there. Tap My Life says, super late, FanDuel help, question mark. Yeah, I can help you out, Tap My Life. On FanDuel, just talk about some of the guys that we talked about are some of our favorite plays. The first guy that I'll let you know that we like a lot on FanDuel tonight is going to be Tobias Harris. He's only 7.5. So that's just way too cheap for the role he's expected to take on. There continues to be no Andre Drummond. He's going to continue to get a lot of usage. So I love Tobias Harris at his price tag. He's a really easy play to be putting in your lineups. And another guy that we talked about that I really like is going to be Josh Hart. He's 5'4". He's priced very reasonably. And another guy that I certainly have a lot of interest in, there's no Devontae Graham. Josh Hart's been playing a lot of minutes. Another guy that I think could certainly surpass his price tag. And then another guy for you, we'll just go ahead and tell you those are two guys to start off good with. And another guy is Jalen Suggs, who I do like on both websites. So Jalen Suggs at only 4,800 on FanDuel, I do think is a good play for you. Banks Larry asks, any Bridges today? I don't know, man. I don't know which website you're playing on, but Bridges I think is starting to become a bit appropriately priced for his upside. Now, with that in mind, he's been a little bit of a letdown, and this game's the fastest tempoed paced game on the slate. So if there was ever a time for him to finally go off again, this probably would be the game. So if that's your thought process and your approach to get him at lower ownership, I don't hate it. Strictly from a price tag and upside compared to some of the other plays on the slate, I don't like him nearly as much. So that would be an ownership play for me. If you do like him because of his ownership, go for it. Otherwise, probably going to be a no for me. Gobert, a bad idea, question mark. No, Gobert is a great idea. Sacramento's been absolutely terrible on the glass all season long. Rudy Gobert dominates on the glass. He gets many rebounds. I believe if I look up my key stats in my advanced metric stats over here on Patreon, I look at my total rebounds percentage and I sort it. Yeah, Rudy Gobert leads the league right now. Outside of Andre Drummond, but Andre Drummond's been kind of a fill-in play, so I'm not going to quite count that. Rudy Gobert leads the league in overall total rebounds percentage on his respective team. He accounts for 26.62% of Utah's rebounds. And then when I go over to my defense half-court putbacks tool and I look at how Sacramento has fared on the glass so far on the season, they are ranked 29th overall, second to dead last in offensive rebound percentage rank, giving up 30.1% of the time an offensive rebound. That's not good. So Rudy Gobert should be able to get plenty of rebounds. Rudy Gobert is a tremendous play on the slate tonight. And there's all of my statistics to back it up. So Rudy Gobert going to be a rebound machine. He gets a great matchup. Sacramento's been terrible defensively. All that fun stuff. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff you can check out if you become a premium member over here, guys. I mean, I have all of these fantastic sheets. They're all color-coded. You get access to my premium NBA projections, my NBA data sheet, my player stats, my team stats, my play context stats, my core plays, my injury impact insights. I do offer an NFL package as well if you're interested in that. Just like an overwhelming amount of useful tool, guys, that I guarantee you'll love. I know a lot of my current Patreon members are loving it. There's been a lot of questions on how do I sign up and all that stuff. I just recently started live streaming a couple weeks ago. I've been waiting to do this for quite some time. So I am going to go ahead and put in the chat the link to my premium content. to make it easy on you guys. And then if you're interested in signing up, go ahead. If you're not and you just want the free content, no problem. Stick around. I'll still answer all your questions. But you can ask me all those questions in the Discord chat leading up until lock. And you can get a lot of valuable insight from me, such as the one that you just asked. I mean, I try to provide as much for free on the stream, but there's a limited amount of time. And the people that are willing to support me and pay me money monthly, of course, I'm going to prioritize them. They're supporting the content, supporting my company, all that fun stuff. So, let's see. Smack that like button, the claw says. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. We're at 14 likes. We're trying to get to 20. I'll be here hanging out here till 6:30. So if you could take a minute to leave a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. Can you play Tatum and Horford together? Yeah, you could certainly play them together. I mean, you know, they don't necessarily correlate the greatest, but the fact of the matter is Al Horford's kind of more of a pure inside scorer, rebounder. He can't pass at the post as well, while Jason Tatum's more of a scorer. So chances are, you know, Al Horford's going to accrue a lot of his fantasy points by getting rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, that kind of thing, and then he'll add in a few points, whereas Jason Tatum's upside is just going to be massive based upon his raw scoring ability, and then the rebounds and everything's a little bit of a bonus. And with there being no Robert Williams in there, I certainly think that you could play both of them. How much do you like Donovan Mitchell tonight? Brian asks. Yeah, I like Donovan Mitchell a lot. I certainly do like him, like I said, a lot. As long as this game stays close, Sacramento's defense hasn't been good. Donovan Mitchell's been an absolute usage beast. Looking at my advanced metrics, players metrics tool over here, looking at overall usage percentage on the season, Donovan Mitchell currently ranks number 4 on the season in overall usage, behind Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Paul George. So that's very good company to be, you know, lining up with, especially like Paul George, a guy that there's been no Kawhi Leonard all season long. He's been the main candidate. Just goes to show you how active Donovan Mitchell's been in this offense. I certainly like him a lot. Savon says, what's up, man? Thoughts on K Hoarder on FanDuel for cash games? Yeah, I like Hoarder quite a bit on FanDuel. Cash games, though, honestly, probably going to be a no for me, man. Like 4-3 for cash games. The problem is Kevin Huerter is very scoring reliant. Like on a site like DraftKings, it's a lot easier to get there with the 3-point bonuses and stuff. On FanDuel, you don't quite get that. It's a lot more like blocks and steals. So I do think on FanDuel specifically, I'd rather play Terrence Ross at 4-3 at the same exact price tag over Kevin Huerter. He's just going to be locked into more minutes. He's more valid for those blocks and steals. And I just think his scoring output matches FanDuel's scoring format a little better. But they're both great plays. I do like both of them. And that's a tough question. I mean, I think you could play them. It's just when you throw the fact that cash games are in there, like that's a little bit scary for me to say, yeah, play Kevin Huerter in cash. Like I'd much rather play, if you can just work yourself in the extra money, like just play Josh Hart. He's 5,400. He's playing like mid-30s to upper, like more towards like 40 minutes a game. So for that reason, I like Josh Hart quite a bit more. I know it's a different price range, but that'd be my honest feedback there as far as cash games are concerned. Any FanDuel lock of the night? Top my life ass. I don't have a lock of the night tonight, man. You know, I wasn't able to put out a video earlier, so my lock of the night on FanDuel, if I had to pick one, probably is going to be Tobias Harris. He's only 7.5. There continues to be no Joel Embiid. There continues to be no Ben Simmons. There's no Danny Green. Tobias Harris's usage is going to be through the roof. He really hasn't seen his price tag adjusted accordingly. So I like Tobias Harris a lot. On FanDuel specifically, I like him on both sites, but FanDuel, it's just even easier to play him because he's that much cheaper. Patrick's asked, what do you think about Cat? Yeah, I think Cat could be a good low-on play, but I'm not too high on him, to be honest. It's just like with Anthony Edwards and with D'Angelo Russell being in there, it's a little scary. From a matchup aspect, I love the matchup taking on Memphis. It's just from a usage aspect, I think they might be able to kind of like take a little bit too much usage away from Cat, and Cat will have a good game, but not too great. Like he'll put up, you know, right now we're looking at FanDuel. Let's say he just puts up 50 FanDuel points. Like, that's decent. But do I think that Rudy Gobert at only 8,300 could put up 50 FanDuel points? Like, yeah, absolutely I do. So why am I going to pay that much more for Karl-Anthony Towns when I can go down to Rudy Gobert and then apply that money more towards in other parts of my lineup? So yeah, Patrick, hopefully that helps you there. Who would you pick from Sacramento, the class? I don't really like anyone from Sacramento. We talked about that earlier in the stream, but I don't really like anyone from Sacramento, man. They're fully healthy. They got a terrible matchup. Like, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Maytu. He's just a cheap play. He's cheap on DraftKings. He's cheap on FanDuel. So if I had to pick one, he'd probably be my answer. But I'm not exactly getting too excited to be targeting Sacramento. To Prince asks, thoughts on Franz Wagner? Yeah, I think Franz Wagner, that's the one guy in that Orlando rotation that's kind of throwing me for a loop. I think he's a good play, but not a great play. Which I'm kind of questioning myself on. On DraftKings, though, he's a lot cheaper. So I'm playing on FanDuel tonight, personally. I only play on either one, DraftKings or FanDuel. I play on both, but on, like, one night, I pick one and I stick to it, usually. That might change as the years go on here. I've been playing DFS for a while, though, and I've always done that. So, depending upon the website you're on DraftKings, he's definitely a lot more viable than FanDuel. Like, he's only 4-3 on DraftKings. Over on FanDuel, they've got him priced at 5-1. So it's just a little bit more difficult to get as much exposure to him over here on FanDuel. But I do think he's a decent play. I just think I like Suggs a little bit more. But yeah, and like I said, that's going to be a site-dependent thing as well. Like on DraftKings, he's a way better play at only 4-3. All right, guys, we got 17 likes. If you're enjoying the content, if you could please leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. That would be greatly appreciated. Helps to show your support on the channel, and I'll be here all season long breaking down these slates to help you guys become better NBA DFS players. Hope you guys win some money night in, night out. Let's see. Gafford, Bain, or Oubre Jr., the Claw asks. I would definitely go Gafford or Bain. All right, let's see. On DK, who is your best pick under 4,500? Let's on DK under 4,500. My best pick. I've answered this a couple times, so I don't really know what else to tell you. But I mean, Jalen Suggs. He's only 3.8. Jalen Suggs is going to be an absolute smash play tonight. So yeah, Jalen Suggs at 3.8. There's no Cole Anthony. He's been struggling shooting. He's finally kind of catching his shot, shooting the way he's supposed to actually be able to shoot. And now he gets to take on a bunch more usage. This could be a great spot for a breakout game. We just got confirmation that Dennis Schroeder is in tonight, so that's another piece of news for you guys. Expect Dennis Schroeder to be available to play and play tonight. The Claw says 17 viewers, 18 likes. That's badass. Yeah, thanks, Claw. I appreciate that. And we just got a super chat from the man himself as well. The Claw, $3 super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your support, Claw. I really do, man. Thank you. That's awesome. Do you like Ja? Tap my life fast. Yeah, I like Ja Morant. The only question with Ja Morant is his price tag. It's like, is he really worth paying up that amount for? Like, I do like him quite a bit. It's just he really has to have a big game. I certainly do think he could have a big game. Like, I mean, Ja Morant his usage is at an all-time high. There's expected to be no Dillon Brooks and no DeAnthony Melton in this one. So that should just give him even more bump up in usage. Now, I'm not getting quite as excited to play him as like Desmond Bane at 4-5 because I think this is going to directly impact a guy like Desmond Bane a lot more than Ja Morant. But I certainly do like Ja Morant a lot as a tournament upside play. So yeah, I do like Ja Morant. It's just like on DraftKings, you can play anyone you want with all this value. So Ja Morant fitting him in is not an issue. On a site like FanDuel, where you have Ja Morant priced all the way up, and there's cheaper guys that could match him or outscore him, like a LaMelo Ball, like a Damian Lillard, like a Donovan Mitchell. I'm feeling like it's a little less necessary to go all the way up to Ja Morant. So it's going to depend on your roster build, your website you're playing on, your format, if you're playing in tournaments or cash games. Savon asked, T Jokes from Memphis. I think you meant Jones. Yeah, I think Jones could be a great play if we get confirmation that Dylan Brooks is out. Tyus Jones. My projections haven't been altered accordingly because we still haven't got confirmation that Dylan Brooks is out. Like, he's doubtful, but he could possibly be in. But yeah, Tyus Jones at all the way down to 3K on DraftKings is like another tremendous value play. This guy produces at a very high rate when he gets a chance, and he's very cheap on FanDuel as well at only 4K. Tyus Jones could certainly be another option. And another guy that I didn't mention that could be an interesting option as well would be RJ Hampton on Orlando. Especially if this game turns to a blowout, RJ Hampton could have a really big game here with there being no Anthony in the rotation. He should get a bump up in usage. He should get a bump up in all of that fun stuff. So RJ Hampton could definitely be another cheap value play. As if we needed any more, right, guys? I mean, there's tons of value on this slate. There's been tons of value throughout the season. I'd say if you're building a lineup and you don't like it tonight, you're probably doing something wrong. DePrince says, I'm going to need help on reading the charts. Yeah, man, I'm really trying to at some point in my life put together a how-to video for all of my premium members. So when you sign up, I'll send you out a how-to video on how to use all the tools and all that fun stuff. I know it can be a little overwhelming if you're not really good with like spreadsheets and that kind of thing. So I apologize if it's confusing to you. It's very simplified down, but if you have a question, just please reach out to me in the Discord. Please reach out to me. You can message me on Patreon as well, and I'll gladly help you because I want you to be able to use the tools to their full capabilities. They're fantastic tools. They're going to help you out a lot. The only other thing that I would say is I do offer one-on-one coaching as well. If you're interested in that, it's a little bit more on the pricey side, but that's because you're getting direct access to me. It's a $100 hourly coaching, so if you wanted to go that route too, DePrince, you can. And that way, we'll talk over like everything. We can go over my tools, but we can also just go over every single thing that I look at when building lineups. Like I said, that might be a little bit too pricey for your liking, and if you're more of a casual player or you don't play quite as much the volume, don't feel bad about not getting it, but that's another option. Patrick with a $3 super chat. Patrick, what's going on, man? Thanks for continuing to provide great content. No problem, Patrick. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you very much for that super chat, Patrick. I appreciate you. Hope you win some more money tonight, man. You got good juju on your side now. Helping out. Guaranteed win. Guaranteed win tonight for you now. All right, guys. We have about 10 more minutes left on my scheduled stream. Looks like the questions are slowing down. We had a bunch of questions throughout the stream, so I'm happy about that. I'm really looking forward to continuing to do these streams. I'm liking how interactive it is with my pre-recorded videos. You can't really interact on the fly. So thank you for tuning into the live stream. I've really been enjoying this. If you're enjoying the content, please take a moment to leave a like on the stream. We're at 19 likes. We need 1 like to reach the like goal. We're trying to get to 20 likes every stream. We just need 1 more like, guys. So if you could take a second to leave a like if you're enjoying it, that would mean a lot, and that would get us to our like goal. The Claw says, thank you for the great streams. You really keep it real. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all your support. I'll be here to continue to help you out with that. Savon says, favorite value plays of the night on FanDuel. Favorite values on FanDuel. Let's go ahead and pull this up for you. Let's FanDuel specifically. Now, keep in mind, these aren't final, my projections, but I'll give you a couple of really good values. I think I've already kind of gone over it. Bobby Portis is one at 6K. He's going to be a great value on FanDuel. That's just too cheap for what he produces on a permanent basis. Like him a lot. I think he's a great value. Jalen Suggs at 3.8 on the Orlando side thing. Now with all these guys on Orlando, or not all of these guys, but with Cole Anthony being out, it's going to give him a big bump in usage. So I think he's a great value play. And another guy, if you're just tuning in, that I think is a great value on FanDuel is going to be Josh Hart. Josh Hart is way underpriced for the amount of minutes and upside that he can provide. He's only 5.4 on FanDuel. So that would be my approach there. That's the guys that I like. Savant says, Jones, Suggs, Jay Hart with some studs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's great. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Happy holidays. Yeah, no problem, Savon. Happy holidays to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. And you have a good holiday season. So thank you. Happy holidays to you as well. Patrick says, I also love the streams plus all the interaction with each other. Yeah, Patrick, it's been fun, man. I know you're always involved in Discord. The Discord and the streams and all that fun stuff. We're constantly chatting it up. And it's fun, man. Like, that's the thing about the premium content. It's going to help you with winning money, but also it's just a lot of fun. Like, it's a lot of fun being able to chat it up in the Discord chat or going over the sheets together. We can message each other on the Google Sheets as well. That's something that a lot of my Patreon members have done in the past. Some of my newer ones haven't really been using it, but that's because they might not know. You can message directly on the Google Sheets. And you get access to a bunch of different tools, one of which is my defensive shooting accuracy sheet, which I'm going to pull up on the screen here. For free, this is one that I always show on the streams just to kind of give you a sneak peek of what some of my sheets look like. This is only one. I have like 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need to memorize this. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I have 16 sheets in total of different tools that you can use to make better NBA DFS lineups. This is one of them. This is my defensive shooting accuracy tool. This is going to tell you the accuracy from opposing teams when shooting against the corresponding defense. So this is kind of an example. It's all color-coded, it's all broken down, and it's all sortable. So one thing, the Prince was asking about my tools. So I have it sorted by efficient field goal rank. You can go ahead and just sort it. So now you can see all within that one row. I just sort it A to Z. It has all the stuff up. So a good example would be rim rank. We can see who's the worst around the rim. Atlanta ranks dead last in the league, 30th overall, giving up the best shooting percentage around the rim. So what does that mean? We go to tonight's slate. Who's taking on Atlanta? Who's the big that's probably going to be around the rim a lot? We go to Charlotte, Atlanta. Well, that's probably going to be Mason Plumlee. So maybe Mason Plumlee is a great play tonight at 4-6. He's been getting decent minutes. It's a big front court. Clint Capella and John Collins, they're going to need him out there. No, maybe that's a good play. So you can do stuff like that. Russell or Young on DraftKings, John Goss asks. I mean, they're in different price tiers, so that's kind of a tough one to answer. Honestly, I like both of them. I would just go with who fits in your lineup, man. That's kind of tough. As far as like an upside at their respective price tags, I can almost guarantee I'm going to like D'Angelo Russell more. But that's just a price tag thing. Like, let's see, D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, D'Angelo Russell is 7'6". Let's see, Trae Young's 9'5". I've got D'Angelo Russell projected, yeah, pretty decent amount ahead of Trae Young. Not from a raw point perspective, from a multiplier aspect. And D'Angelo Russell has a tremendous matchup as well, taking on Memphis, who has been very bad defensively. So D'Angelo Russell definitely going to be a great play. 28th as far as opponent rank on my premium content. 25th as far as opponent position rank. So D'Angelo Russell definitely gets a great matchup. The Claw asks, is Jang and Nurkic a good play in Showdown? No. Both of those guys I don't really like. Both of them have been limited on their minutes. So, I mean, I'm not looking at that Showdown slate. I know you're kind of only working with limited guys in Showdown, so I don't mean to shoot you down right away, but I'm guessing that that's not going to be something that I'd be interested in, either of those guys. Savon asks, favorite game of the night on the slate? I mean, my favorite game of the night would be the highest total game on the slate. It's pretty obvious, but the 226.5 over under Charlotte Hornets Atlanta game, it's my favorite game on the slate. It's just going to be the highest scoring, so that's my favorite game. Yeah, it's really that simple. I do like this Milwaukee-Orlando game quite a bit, though. Like, Milwaukee's defense hasn't been that great, honestly, compared to years past. The only problem is really going to be the blowout. But if you're just tuning into the stream, I had mentioned earlier, I really like loading up on these Orlando Magic guys. They're all going to get a big bump up. There's no Cole Anthony, so like Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba, Wagner, Jalen Suggs, RJ Hampton. Like, all of these guys are going to be viable plays. And if you play them all and they go off, that means the game's staying close. Then you can run it back with Giannis, who gets like the best matchup you could possibly ask for. Orlando has been terrible defensively. Giannis could easily score 100. I say easily. I should check myself before I wreck myself. But Giannis could score like 100 fantasy points in this matchup. Like, it's that good. Giannis is an absolute fantasy point per minute beast. He's added a shot now. He can shoot from behind the three-point arc. He can shoot in the mid-range. He can dribble a lot better than he could when he came in the league. He can block shots. He can steal shots. He can get to the rim. I mean, Giannis is just a fantasy cheat code, and he gets like the best matchup you could ask for, taking on Orlando. So Giannis is going to be a priority for me. I haven't played a lot of Giannis on the season. I've been worried about the blowouts. I'm probably going to play him tonight, and they're probably going to blow them out, and I'm going to not be a happy camper because that's just the way things go. But I don't know. I say that. I believe in myself, but I don't mean to be negative. But that's just that stuff happens. All right. What is your favorite Sacramento player if you had to pick? The Claw asks. I really don't like Sacramento, the Claw. If I had to pick, it'd be Maytu. But yeah, man. I don't know if you're playing like Showdown or something. I'm talking about the main slate. I really don't like Sacramento. Is fading Giannis a bad idea? Yeah, I just talked about. I mean, you're either going to feel really smart or really dumb would be my guess. Because if the game stays close, I think Giannis just absolutely goes off. If the game blows out, Giannis probably doesn't have the greatest score, and you're going to have a big advantage. But the fact of the matter is there's so much value on the slate. Like, it's so easy to get Giannis in your lineups. I kind of think fading him is a bad idea. I'm not going to be fading him. Just to be fully transparent and honest with you. So that's the final answer. Like, if I'm not fading him, obviously I wouldn't recommend that you fade him. I'm very high on Giannis tonight. I think Giannis has a big game. If it blows out, I'm going to be very disappointed. But all right, guys, we got 3 more minutes. So last call on any questions you have. If you are interested in premium content, you can sign up using my link. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chat for you guys. Let's see. KJK DFS premium content. If you're joining the streams, I guarantee you are going to absolutely love the premium content because it's good stuff, guys. So, but yeah, feeling pretty good about the slate overall. Definitely getting ready to. I'm gonna go over to the Discord chat. I'm gonna answer any questions that my premium members have. If you want to sign up, go ahead. I'll see that you signed up in my email. If I'm not seeing it right away, if you message me on Patreon, I'll also get notified of that. And when you first sign up, you're not gonna have access to my tools because you're gonna be locked out because you have to get access after you pay for them. Once you get access, you can message me. I'll give you permission to the Google Sheets. You get in there, you'll be good to go. You'll be all set, and all that fun stuff, guys. If you enjoyed the stream, if you're not subscribed to the channel, first of all, you need to subscribe to the channel, please and thank you. I don't know what you're doing if you're not. You get notified every single time that I go live, every single time when I upload new content, all that fun stuff. Be part of the community. You can join the KJK DFS fan club. That's linked below as well in the video. If you hit join on the channel, that's another way of showing your support for me. And you get the KJK DFS logo next to your name. It just kind of lets everyone know that you're, a longtime fan. It'll tell you when you've been a fan for like 3 months plus in the chat when you chat people, so they know. So not that you probably care about that stuff too much. It's really just more about showing support, but that is an option. So yeah. All right, guys, we got 21 likes. We got the like goal. Thank you very much for tuning in. I wish you guys all the best of luck tonight. Leave a like. Thank you again, guys, so much. Wish you all the best of luck. And I'm going to hop in the Discord chat. I'm going to answer any questions. I'm going to update my core plays. See all your premium members there. And I'll see the rest of you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Best of luck. And I'm out of here, guys. Peace.